see here. Let's see. Nope, I still don't see. Mm-mm.
You don't see.
No, no.
Okay, Camille said, I just made y'all live.
Oh, you did? Hey, Millie. I'm on my Facebook page. I don't see it unless. Let's see.
Hey, Camille.
Hey, Millie Meow. Okay, now I see. Okay, so we are live. Okay, now I see it. Okay, hey.
Okay.
Okay, so listen, you guys, Kima's going to be amazing. So, Kima, I want you to take it away. I am in
Okay.
between flights as always, but
Okay.
she's about to drop
Okay.
that tea tonight. So, I'm going to let you go ahead and take it down.
Okay. And I can't see, who's actually on. So we're gonna use the chat and I got you. Do your thing. I got
Okay,
you.
babe. Okay, see ya.
Okay. Take care. Hello, everyone. My name is Kima Hennett. I am the credit strategist. I work side by side with Jewel, and I am the credit strategist on the team. We have gotten so many people to that funding level, but it is important that I come on here and go over a few things as far as what it takes to get qualified for funding. We all want that funding, right? But we have to make sure that we are setting our business up correctly and putting our business pretty on paper when we're actually speaking to these lenders, right? So first things first, before I dive really deep into it, before you go for funding, it is important that you know how to read your credit profile or have someone read your credit profile for you. And that's because there's certain qualifications that you need in order to get approved for funding, right? So let's just say I'm not big on focusing on your credit score because you can be a 750 and actually get denied business funding. But however, to have at least a 680 and above across all three credit reporting agency is one um, credit qualification, one business funding qualification. Yes, there's banks out there that would take you with a 680. And of course, the higher your credit score, the more funding you may get. Another qualification is to make sure that you have no late payments on your credit profile. Now, when I'm saying no late payments, if your late payment was back from 2007 or 2008, which that should have been deleted off of your credit profile, so that shouldn't matter. But I'm saying no current late payments, right? No derogatory accounts, no collections, no charge offs. And these are things that we cannot skip. We cannot say, okay, I have only one collection, but my score is a 690, so I'm going to get that funding. No, it does not work like that. You want to make sure that everything is at zero. So that way, if and when you do get the funding, they're going to give you the maximum amount that the banks allow, right? So no late payments, no derogatory, your credit score at least a 680 or above, right? Making sure you have some primary accounts. And when I'm saying primary accounts, I'm saying basically accounts that is yours, accounts that's in your name. There's some credit profiles that, a person may not have no accounts in their name and they're authorized users on certain accounts. But it's best to make sure you have at least 5 accounts in your name as primary. If you do not have that, that's something that we can work on as well, as far as adding primary accounts to your profile. Another thing is hard inquiries, right? You want to make sure you have no more than 3 hard inquiries per credit reporting agencies. That means no more than 3 on Experian, no more than 3 on Equifax, and no more than 3 on TransUnion. Okay, Kima, I got a whole bunch on there. What do I do? First things first, we're going to go after removing those hard inquiries. If it's not attached to an open account, we definitely could get those removed. In other words, if you applied for a business credit card and you were approved, but remember, business credit doesn't always report to your personal. So that is something that can be removed. You also want to make sure that you have a good credit age. In other words, you're showing the bank you know how to manage credit within, like, say, 4 to 5 years. So it's basically making sure your business is pretty on paper, right? So, first things first, pull your credit profile. If you don't know how to read it, we can help you read the credit profile to see if you are ready for funding. A lot of people just jump in there, go for funding, rack up those hard inquiries, and still get denied, right? Now, the number one thing is when you get denied, the number one mistake that people make is they don't find out why they were denied in the first place, right? Because one of the qualification is utilization. So how do you expect for a bank to give you $50,000 if you maxed out your personal credit and you didn't pay it back? Now the banks is looking at you that you could be someone that could be filing for bankruptcy, right? Soon. So let's go down those steps. First things first, credit score. Make note of this. I'm going to say it in order. Credit score at least 680 and above, according to each credit reporting agency. Second thing, no late payments. Third thing, no derogatory accounts. That means no collections, no charge-offs, things like that. The fourth thing, making sure your utilization is under the 30%. When you are going for funding, the ideal utilization number is between 2 and 10%. So the best thing you could do is try to bring your utilization down as much as possible, right? The other thing is making sure you have primary accounts. The other thing is making sure you have 4 to 5 credit age. If you can say yes to all of those things, it's time that we look at your credit, see what companies we could get you the funding with, and then you can start your investment with Dr. Jewel and go from there. But that is ideal as to what your credit profile should look at. Now, another thing is how you structured your business, right? So if you are sitting there with someone that has a high risk name like credit repair, let's just say trucking, things like that. I'm not saying you will not get approved for credit, but they will lower the amount of money that they're actually giving you because you have a high risk name. I'm not saying get rid of your LLC, nor am I saying you cannot get funding for it. They will just consider it high risk. So if they are considering it high risk, that means you need to be really strong in another area, which means you need to show that your business is doing very well, even though that you may be a high risk, right? So making sure that you have your LLC structured, making sure you have your EIN, right? Making sure you have your business bank account, making sure you have a business phone number. Now, you can use your personal number, but just know anything that you're listing for your business, that means the public has it. And you want to make sure that everything is looking good on paper when these banks is talking to you, when these banks is looking at your application. It's like, okay, Kima is applying for $50,000. What's your business address? the same as her home. Okay, so she works from home. What's her phone number? Okay, her phone number is her same as her personal number. What's her email? Oh, it's kimahennet@gmail. No, let's get our mind together that we have to make sure everything is looking good on paper, right? So I need you to get that LLC structured properly, that EIN number, the business bank account, right? I also need you to get a certified business email, right? You can go and get a domain with GoDaddy. You don't necessarily need a full-blown website that will cost you all of this money. You can go to GoDaddy and get a landing page. And when I'm saying a landing page, I'm saying if my business is Grade A Solution, I could go to GoDaddy and get a landing page so where someone could put in www.gradeasolutionsllc.com, and it will be a one sheet, a one pager, and I can capture clients' information. But that looks good to a lender because when they ask you, do you have a website? You can say, yes, it's www.gradeasolutionsllc.com, right? So anything that these businesses are asking you for, it's best to have it already there, already set in place. Okay, so let's go over that again. The LLC, your address, your telephone number, your domain, your professional email, your EIN, your bank accounts, and make sure you list your business. Do you know these banks is starting to Google certain business? Like, I don't believe this person really has a business, right? Let me Google them and see what happened. Well, you make sure you go to Google and you set your business up to come up as a professional business. And if you do not have a virtual address, you can go to Regis and get an actual address, right? So you're not putting your home address down, because you have to remember the clients or whomever is looking for you will have your personal information. And if you happen to go through Regis, it's something like $49. But you can actually work something out to where if you're paying it yearly. Now, one pointer that I would like to give is if you select, right? If you select an address, make sure you go to Google and make sure it's a brick and mortar, because these lenders are Googling the companies. And if you just put an address there and the address leads them to a Subway or it leads them to a house, that's not showing that you actually are in business. So before you select the business, you need to get that address, put in Google, look at the street view, and see if it's a brick and mortar, right? So let's do a recap. Now you know what it takes to have on your personal side. You know about the credit score and what should be on there. Now, on the other hand, you know how to structure your business. And let's just say your personal credit is in position and your LLC formation is in position. And now you're ready to fill out those applications for funding. Now, I can't tell y'all what to put on that applications, but I'm gonna give y'all a few things that y'all need to pay attention to, because this is some ways people are automatically getting denied, right? Okay, I know y'all hear no docs, no docs. I want to go to a bank with no docs. What that actually mean is you are looking for a bank that's not going to ask you for bank statements, or you're looking for a bank that's not going to ask you for tax returns. Usually, if you are asking for 50,000 or less, some of the banks are doing no docs, but you have to think it is 2025 and these banks are cracking down because they were just throwing money away. meaning handing money out and nobody is paying these loans back. So it's only right that these banks are starting to tighten up, right? So, but that's okay because we good over here. In other words, as they tightening up, that's fine because I'm teaching you guys how to structure your business and how to make it pretty on paper, right? So let's just say that application is up. You ready? Your personal information is good. I mean, your personal credit is good. Let's just say your LLC and your formation and your business structure is good. Now, when you get to that application, some of you guys are asking for 50,000, and I'm being so honest. Some of you guys are asking for 50,000, but you only make 65,000. What lender do you think is going to approve that? I cannot tell you what to put on your application. However, what I can tell you is please pay attention to the application. Some of these applications is asking for your projected income. So if you're someone who's saying, yeah, I know what skill I have, I know how my business could operate, I'm projecting I'm going to make me about 235,000 for the year. They can't get mad at you. That's what you projected, right? So not only did you just cover you asking for 50,000 and you done prove to them that you made 3 times the amount that you were asking for, that's a good number. Then on this application, as far as income, some of them are asking for your household income. Now, I don't know about y'all, but some of y'all live with your son or your daughter, your husband, your wife, and they're over the age of 21. You can include their income as well. That's one of the biggest mistakes that people are making when it's time for filling out these applications. They're not paying attention to that, right? And another thing is when these banks are asking, what is your employment status? We're never putting self-employed. We are not putting self-employed. Just think about it. You have to SWOT, right? I use the acronym SWOT a lot, which means it's SWAT. Switch your way at thinking, right? You need to think like a lender. If someone is self-employed, and remember, we go into a no-doc bank. So they're not asking you for W-2s. They're not asking you for pay stubs. So here you are, somebody that's not given proof of anything, going into a bank and asking for 50,000. Do you think that they will feel more comfortable giving someone that has a W-2 or someone that is an actual employee, right? Or a self-employed? No, these self-employeds, that is a gamble. That is a risk because in their mind, it's a chance that this business may go out of this company may go out of business, right? So if anything, you are an employee. If you don't have W-2s and you do have your own business, consider yourself an employee of your own business. We're not going to check that box as being employed, right? A self-employed, right? Then we're going to I gave y'all the household income, right? Then as far as the high risk industry, let me see what else I needed to tell you guys. We're definitely not going to, we're going to start to use general. Excuse me. I'm running down the application, right? So you're going to use general as far as the nature of your business, right? It's not that you're lying on these applications. You just have to SWOT And you have to think, how can I prove to this bank that I am capable of getting this funding, right? So now that you got your personal credit on board, it's good. Then you structured your business well. Now you filled out the application, right? You filled out the application and you were approved for something. And when I'm saying approved for something, some of y'all get upset if your approval is 7,000 or 8,000. You're like, oh no, I wanted 50. At this point, there was a reason you didn't get 50, right? First things after getting your approval, and if it was an amount that you didn't like, every company has a reconsideration department. So the minute you get approved, you call up the company and you say, my name is Jane Doe. I was approved for 6,000. I would like to be reconsidered for a higher credit limit, right? That's something that they can do. Okay. Then after you get your funding, now, I don't know how many of y'all is in a relationship or what, but I'm about to teach y'all how to cheat, right? So once you get approved, that means your credit profile is in good position. The key for how people can get 200,000, right? 200,000 and off of one LLC is learning which bank pulls from which credit reporting agency. So I'm just going to give an example, right? This is how we're going to cheat. If you've been approved for $50,000 from a bank from Experian, right, with your LLC, how do Equifax and TransUnion know that you was just approved for that 50,000, right? They don't. Then you're going to go to a bank that pulls from Equifax. Let's just say they give you 50,000, right? What you got from Equifax, they don't know what you were doing over there in Experian and TransUnion. So you had 100,000 so far. Now it's okay, Kima, let's pull the trigger on a TransUnion, right? Now you've been approved for 50,000 with TransUnion. That's 150,000 off of 3 inquiries, right? But when I say 3 inquiries, that's 3 across the board. You really only got 1 inquiry on Experian, 1 inquiry on TransUnion, and 1 on Equifax. But here's the thing. When you are going for funding, right? Not only are you cheating, tiptoeing, and not knowing who is going to be with who, you also going to go through banks that will give you more than one business bank account, one business funding, right? They could give you 2 cards off of that one credit pull. So let's just say if they was to, one card gave you 50 and the other card gave you 25 on Experian, that's 75, right? Then when you go into your Equifax, right? And your Equifax, that company offers 2 or 3 cards off of that one credit pull. That could be another 50,000. Then you go to somebody like Amex, right? And Amex offers, you offer one pull, you can get 4 or 5 different cards. There's a way you can get 250,000 off of one hard inquiry per credit reporting agency. And you know how that all starts? It's building the foundation. Yes, we all want to get into real estate. Yes, we all want property. But you're sitting here looking at someone that has bought property, continuing to buy property off of credit, off of business funding. right? So I'm only telling you guys what I've seen work and how I get my clients those actual funding. So the first things first, and I'm just going to keep reiterating this because we have to take ownership. Some of us is on this live and haven't looked at their credit in so long. Some of us, and that's fine, because when you know better, you do better, right? Some of us is on here looking at their credit profile, but guess what? They're looking at it through Credit Karma. That is not a reliable credit monitoring tool. Sorry to bust your bubble, but Credit Karma is more of an advertisement tool, right? They get paid more for advertisement. Don't get me wrong. We can use Credit Karma for some good things, which means they give daily updates as to what's happening to your credit. But one thing for sure, they are not giving you any information for Experian, right? So that means if you only relying on Credit Karma to monitor your house, your credit report, then you can have all type of burglaries going on with Experian, right? So if you're looking for a reliable credit monitoring tool, I use Identity IQ. Some of you guys may be using your banks, right? Your bank may offer Experian. One bank may offer TransUnion and the other one Equifax. Here's the thing with that. And I'm being honest. Yes, it's free, right? However, do you have the skills to know how to read that credit report with so many different the way they're reporting, right? Equifax format may be totally different from Experian. You're going to have to try to put it together and see in piece what is happening, right? The reason I like Identity IQ, because let's just say if I have a Discover card or a Macy's card, when I pull up my report that refreshes every 30 days, I can look at that Macy's account and see how side by side and color coordinated, right? How Macy's is reporting that report, that account, how Experian is reporting it, and Equifax. And it's easier to identify those violations, right? So first things first, pull your credit profile. If you need help with reading your credit report, that's what, I could come in. Definitely, if you are part of Jules community, it's free credit analysis. Not saying you have to, go with the services, but you have to know where to start. First things first, your credit report. Second thing, making sure your business is lined up. For those that do not have a LLC yet and you plan on getting into real estate and joining, Dr. Jules group, that should have been done as of yesterday, right? So what, you're not in the group yet. The more seasoned your LLC is, the more funding you can get. Don't get me wrong. I've got one of my clients, 6 figures, right? And her business was formatted in a week or two. But that's because her personal credit was in position. But why not just format your business the way it's supposed to be? And the longer you have your LLC, the better it looks to the lenders. Because remember, you got to SWOT, you got to think like a lender, right? And after your business is structured, let's get that funding. You're going to know how to do those applications. And the key note with those applications is, if you are denied, don't get discouraged. Consider that as temporary. Make sure you're reaching out to the actual company to find out why. That is key. And they have to tell you why. They may not tell you over the phone, but they have to send some sort of documentation. And let's just say you get the documentation and it says you were denied because your utilization is too high, right? And if your utilization is too high, once you bring that utilization down, you go back to that bank and it's like, now what? because I want that 50,000, right? My utilization is low. Now, they may come back and say, we see you have delinquent accounts, which that shouldn't be the reason, because remember what I'm telling you, don't even apply unless you can say yes to all of those qualifications from your personal credit report, right? So many of us want that business funding, and we're trying to tiptoe around fixing our credit profile. And I am guaranteeing you, you are going to need your credit one time, and it's probably going to be that perfect opportunity that Dr. Jewel have. It's going to be a house that, oh my God, I can't believe I need to get this funding and my credit is messed up. I say work on your personal. Stop worried about doing business credit unless you're ready to show those bank statements and those W-2s. Now, if you really just want to work solely on your EIN and not deal with your personal, that's fine. But just know these banks are asking for bank statements, right? They're asking for bank statements. I've seen where certain banks are even asking for your login. And when I'm saying your login, you know that Plaid account where you have to log in and connect your business bank account to their system, because you got to remember they've been burnt too many times, right? So that's why I'm saying it's time for people to stop trying to tiptoe around that personal, because it's like if you knew a bank was offering you $50,000 and they right there on the corner of where you live in, and they saying, just come in, just give me, just let me peek at your personal credit. I'm not going to report to it. Just let me peek at it. Do you know how devastating that will be to walk past that bank all day, every day, and can't get that 50,000 just because you did not want to fix your personal credit? Not saying they're going to report to it, but they just wanted to peek at it, right? So if y'all have any other questions, because I could keep going on and on about, this business funding, structuring your business. If you have questions on your personal credit, if you need actual, let me see. Let me put, hold on one second. Okay, I'm gonna put this in the chat. That is the link, Dr. Jewel's link. If you want me to just look at your credit, look to see if you're ready for actual funding. Like I said, we have helped so many people in our community. And what happens is sometimes they'll come to Dr. Jewel and she'll say, Kima, they need help. I'll get their credit in position. And once it's in position, I look through the credit profile and say, okay, they're all yours. Their credit has been fixed and you can go from there, right? That's when they start the investment and things like that. Is there any questions? I can't really see. I guess this is a private. Oh, okay. Link. Can you see the link that I sent? No. Can someone respond? Because I can't see how many people is on. I'm trying to see the actual chat. I'm sorry, maybe I don't see the link. Okay. You don't see the link? What did that go? Oh, look at all those no's. Y'all hurt my feelings. No, I'm only kidding. Okay, it's saying join the chat. I don't know. Let me see. Y'all don't give up on me. I'm trying, I can't see anything. Okay. Let me see. How about, I hope you guys are not driving, because I'm trying to find a way to, it's telling me to join the chat and I can't, because remember, Dr. Ju just brought me on as a guest and it's saying join the chat. We here, let me see, connect. Okay. Can y'all just text my number if I was, because I can't type in the chat for some reason. Actually, can someone just type my phone number in the chat for me? It's 470-829-9076. That's 470-829-9076. And if you just text me, Dr. Jewel, I'm going to respond to you and I'll be able to send you, the link, Dr. Jewel's link. And like I said, I'm not pressuring you guys to get credit services. I will look. Oh, thank you so much, Miss Kanisha and Miss Kimberly. I will look over your credit profile and let you know, if you are ready for funding, if you're ready to go to the next level, because that's the overall goal. I look over certain credit profiles and I'm like, yeah, Dr. Jewel, they're ready, but then I get it to where Dr. Jewel will send me a client and I'm like, you shouldn't have never applied for funding, because what you did was you skipped steps, right? You skipped some steps and now you're getting these denials. And not only what happens when someone get denied or get denials, they get discouraged, right? So that's why I like to hold off on that. I'm late, so you do both business and personal. Yes. And that's what I be saying. It's like, once I reached out to you last month, but I didn't hear back from you. Miss Kanisha? Oh, I don't recall that. I'm sorry. Did you book an actual call or did you call me? Now that you have my number, can you text the number? Can you text the number and I'll reach out to you after this call? But I want you guys to ask me these questions, because if you're on here, that means you're either ready for funding, you're ready for investment, you're ready to get your credit fixed, you're ready to take action. If you stayed this long, you're ready to take action, right? And I know there's so many people out there that have certain questions as far as credit repair process. How long does it take, right? That's the number one thing. Please don't ever let someone tell you what month or how long it's going to take, because that is something that no one can guarantee, right? Now, what I do know is you will start to see results within 30 to 60 days. Credit repair is a process. And my acronym SWOT, I want you to think about this. And I'm going to just throw this out there. Let's just say if it took 7 months, 6 months, and I'm just throwing it out there. Don't hold me to it, because I've seen some go really sooner, right? But let's just say it took 6 months. That's still way shorter than what it would normally take to fall off by itself. Some of these accounts would take 7 to 10 years to fall off. And let's not forget, this debt is really yours, right? Unless you were a part of fraud, identity theft, right? And if you was a part of that, it's no reason you are sitting there with credit issues. Because if you was a part of fraud, you could be filing an actual FTC report and getting it removed, right? So Do you guys have any other questions? Because I'm telling y'all, I would just be going on and on, taking y'all down this hole. I get really excited. And I think I get excited because I know how credit has changed my life. I don't need no paid advertisement. I could speak from the heart to say where I started and where I'm at now. I'm not completely where I need to be, but I can say how that changed my life. So that's why I deal with this topic, and it's near and dear to me. This is why I love investments. This is why I love investing in properties. You know, this is why I got my property in Detroit, and and I still work my 9 to 5, right? And what is it? 4 months make 20 years. But the key is I'm trying to retire the job and not let that job retire me, right? Because as you can see, the government, we don't even know if we working tomorrow, right? And I don't want to walk around in a panic mode all day, every day. So what I'm going to do is take those steps now, right? So I can get to that goal that I want. I made my goal so high to where if I was to get that, I can walk into that job and said, I gave y'all 20 years of my life, and now it's time for me to go to my next chapter. But I couldn't really do that without credit and faith, of course. But credit has helped me a long way. You looking at someone that been homeless before, lived in shelters, right? It's to the point where I keep telling people I finally could talk about it without crying, right? But it's because I know where I'm at now. You looking at somebody that filed bankruptcy before. And like, how can you, one person go, and that's just a fraction of it, but I'm not about to go deep into it. But what did I do to get to the position that I am now? Besides the faith, right? Faith and that credit and real estate. When I tell you, because I've had that obsession with real estate due to my upbringing, right? So to own homes was like so far out my vision that I never even thought about it, right? I'm just saying it can happen, right? But you got to be serious. I had to keep telling myself, I can't want to fix more people. I can't want to fix your credit more than you want it fixed. I can't do that because not only do I have clients, but when you working with a credit person, it really, I'm speaking for my business, right? Because remember, I don't like sound like a sales call. I'm just telling you how I operate. It's an 80-20 relationship. I'm going to do 80% of the work. Your 20% is going to consist of you keeping your utilization down, right? It's going to consist of you not applying for any new credit. And the other thing is you will receive your own portal link. So you will get to see what is it that I'm actually working on, right? That's the 20%. Then it may be a time that I say, Miss Kanisha, I just received the documents that you uploaded to your profile. I need you to call Experian and say X, Y, and Z. We have to work together on this. So many people join a credit repair services and just say dump, right? Dump it all on you. If you just plan to dump it all on me, right? Then this is not the services for you because it's going to take a team effort, right? To get these things off. And then remember, the overall goal is let's fix that credit. Let's structure your business right. Let's get that funding. Then go get those properties that Dr. Jewel is offering, right? Her mentorship. To have a mentor. And that's when I realized my life was starting to change, when I started investing in myself, right? To have a mentor is like having a cheat sheet. That mentor is Xing out some of those mistakes that you will eventually have to pay for. Don't get me wrong, you are going to have your own mistakes. You are going to have your own hiccups, but having a mentor is like refreshing, right? It's like, oh my God, what do I say? What do I do? I don't want to mess this up. How can I get this property? This is what I'm looking for. Can you help me? That is so key, right? So like I said, I could go on and on, but I'm not gonna. We've been on here for some time. Does Miss Kanisha? I'm definitely going to respond to you as soon as we hang up. Thank you, SK, so much. I love coming on and doing what I need to do. Does anyone need to have the qualifications ran down again? Does anyone have a credit monitoring tool? If not, if you text me, I'll send you the link. It's like a promo code for $1 just so you can look it. Remember, I don't like sounding like a sales call. So even if you need to look at it, when I tell you, like, you will be like, oh my goodness, look at that Identity IQ account. It's so color coordinated. It's telling me what was late, what wasn't late, right? Like say for example on Identity IQ, and I'm just going to give y'all a test, right? If you see one account, and I see you each one teach one, I'm going to get to your question. Once you get on Identity IQ, it's so color coordinated. And like I said, each account is side by side, right? It will allow you to see violations. And I'm going to give y'all one violation that y'all could easily point out. Let's just say you have those student loans that go that big SL, right? Those student loans. And let's just say in January, it's marked green for okay. February is marked green for okay. But in March, it says 90 days late. Now, I ain't got to be the smartest cookie on the block, but I do know 30 days come before 90 and 60 days. That's a violation. That could be updated. So you see what I mean when it's about, say, the credit monitoring and knowing how to read your credit profile. So if you text me, I'll send y'all the link. I have a account that keeps coming, being updated. What are your recommendations? When you're saying updated, are you saying it came off it was deleted off your credit profile and it's coming back? Or it could be, are you disputing an open account? If you dispute an open account, right? Remember, open accounts have to be reported every 30 days. So if you disputed a negative item and it was taken off as updated, they still got the 30 days to report. So it's no need to dispute open accounts. So each one teach one. Let me know what you mean. Was it deleted and came back, or are you disputing open accounts? What's the promo code for? How do you get the promo code? Okay, so Kanisha, yes, please text me and say, I need the Identity IQ link. That's what that's for, the Identity IQ, and that's the $1 link. Like I said, it's $1. Pay for it through their company. I'm just giving you my promo code. You got 7 days and you can cancel it, right? Just download your report and read it. Or if you say, Kima, I created an Identity IQ account. Can you please, can I get on your schedule? And can you just give me a summary of my negative items? Can you look to see, am I qualified for business funding? Okay, yep, they verified. So if you are disputing something, I'm replying to each one teach one. That person said they verified it. So what that person mean is that they sent the dispute and the credit reporting agency responded and said, and I'm assuming you either told them this is not your account or you was never late, and they turned around and said, yes, this is your account, right? Now, with each one, teach one, there's so many things behind them saying verified. One, is it tied to a personal address? Your account could be tied to a personal address, right? Then, did you freeze your secondary agencies, right? Like Innovis or Sage or ARS. Did you freeze those things? Because say if your account is with Discover and you are freezing it, right? I mean, excuse me. Say your account is with Discover and you are disputing it with the CRAs, the credit reporting agencies, right? They are going to these secondary agencies, reporting agencies, and verifying the information. If you freeze your secondary accounts, when they go to look for your account, how can they verify it? It's frozen. That's like this. If you freeze something, right, and they coming to get it, how are they getting in? They basically lying. I didn't want to say the L word, but they basically lying, right? So there's so many different reasons why I could have came back verified. I don't know what your dispute letter looked like. I don't know what you said. I don't know if you froze your secondary. I don't know if you updated your personal information. Okay, so it's a lot of things that come with that as far as that. Good questions, you guys. But like I said, I can definitely look at your credit profile for you. If you reach out to me, please mention Jules' name, because her clients get a certain treatment. No, I'm only kidding. But just mention her name so I'll know. It would have been easier to just drop it in the link, but for some reason, I mean in the chat, but for some reason I can't drop anything in the chat. Thank you guys so much. We got to do this again. And y'all can request a topic or something y'all will want me to go over. But remember, we got to get y'all to this real estate. We got to get y'all to this funding. And especially before they start changing everything up, before they start changing the game, right? But that's okay. That's why I'm saying we're making our business pretty on paper now, right? So we ain't going to be scared of nothing that they asking us for. We going to get down to the point where we not even only looking for those banks that's saying no doc, right? We're going to be looking for those banks that's just saying offering business funding. And we're going to walk in there with our head up high, our credit profile in good position, right? And then we're going to get that funding, right? And then we're going to live that life that we want. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, you guys. I guess I will see you later. I know Jewel was busy. I guess you can tell her how I did. I'm gonna need y'all to be honest. Well, actually tell me first. How I should have been a little deeper. How was it okay? Was it too much information? You're welcome, Deely. Okay. All right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you, Miss Kadesha. See, I don't even want to leave. I could have just hit that leave button. Let me just leave. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. You know how you used to hang up? I mean, when you're on the phone with your boyfriend when you was younger and say at 2, y'all hang up. Thank you, Miss Kimberly. Okay. Miss Kimberly. Okay.